Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to another episode of Top Tier Talk. Unfortunately, this week, none of our teams came out with a win. Elliot, Arsenal won, Brighton won, starting with you, and one fairly big talking point.
Yeah, absolutely. Fair enough. First half, it seemed to be pretty kind of controlled. I think Odegaard missed a sitter. I think there's a couple of chances that we could have put away to obviously solidify that first half kind of result to kind of go into the second half even stronger. We went into the second half obviously 1-0 up, but I think obviously it was the case of whoever got the next goal kind of solidified that game. And unfortunately, it seemed to be obviously you can bring it up because I'm an Arsenal fan, but it seemed to be that we were let down by the officials, and obviously this completely changed the game because then we've had to sub on different players onto the pitch, and then we've had to play a defensive game because of obviously the fact that we've only got 10 men versus 11. So, like for me, I guess like the only thing I could say is just like we just don't seem to be that kind of what's the word?
Last season, you had killer mentality. This season, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you
We just
you
seem to
still
be
I was gonna say you still would have won that game last season, even with 10 men, sort of thing.
yeah, exactly. I think we kind of
So,
like lost that kind of mojo of bit, as you say, killer mentality of kind of like beat them down in the foot like as quickly as you can, and then hopefully kind of like just enjoy the rest of the game. But for some reason, it's just like we seem to keep passing it, which look, I'm all about it. But you've got to kind of win the kind of have those shots off as well. But look, let's get onto the nitty and gritty. Obviously, the part that's obviously everyone's going to be focusing and talking about. Everyone's going to come at me in the comments and just say bad rules, blah blah blah. Look, I'm going to get on the technicality bullshit. The ball's still moving and it came off his leg. So technically, he didn't stop
No,
the
no,
restart
I'm not
of
having
no,
of
I'm
the
gonna, I'm
game.
gonna actually, it's a new season, obviously, bygones be bygones, all that stuff. I think it's the most ridiculous second yellow, red card,
Yeah,
whatever I've ever seen in my life.
agreed.
The
Thank
ball
you.
was moving. I honestly thought Veltman. I was thinking when I was watching it
He'd
live,
get
I was like,
red.
oh, for God's sake, look, now Arsenal gonna win 4-0 now, or whatever, because Veltman's gonna get sent off. And when he sent Rice off, I just stared at the screen as well. I was like, what was that about? The ball was moving.
Mhm. Absolutely. This is the thing. Is technically, if you want to be on a technicality basis of all these like people who go rules, the ball's still moving. So technically, he didn't stop the restart of play. So
Would
the fact
would
that
Ref not
obviously,
just stop and made him replay it because the ball was moving if he passed it
exactly,
anyway?
yeah,
So
exactly.
it doesn't actually count as a.
The thing is as well is that like obviously even like Mikel said and Saka said and Rice, they've all said like at the end of the day, if you want to be on like the whole kind of rule basis of thing, and then you get Rice sent off, fine, do what you want to do, but keep it consistent. Because then when João Pedro launches it down the line and stops the restart of play there, is that not the same? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
Is
this
that
is
are
this
we
is
not
what
going
I
to give
said
out
to.
cards for that? The thing is it just seems odd. Like it just seems like, for example, I mean, you could take it back to the Wolves game when we won 2-0 against them, when their Wolves player, that Colombian freak, decided to kind of put his hand around Havertz's neck and not get a card for that. Like, and but then you can reach it back to like old games as well, where Kovacic done a double foot onto Odegaard's foot and didn't get his second yellow for that. Just what I'm saying is, if you want to send him off because of some stupid rules on stuff like that, and we want to ignore a little bit of common sense, fair enough. Do what you want to do, but you've got to kind of keep it consistent to the point where you have to do exactly the same as you did for Rice for everyone else in the Premier League for the rest of the season now, which you won't because most referees have an actual working brain and can kind of go, well, come on. Do you know what I mean? But
Shabes,
Also, if you
you're
wanna, if you wanna do rules like that as well, there are other rules that don't get implemented. So, like for
exactly,
example,
Welbeck should have got
this
a yellow for asking for a yellow for what's his name, Rice as well. He should have got yellow.
yeah, instantly for complaining.
Yeah,
Also, every single time the goalkeeper gets the ball and it goes for more than 6 seconds, there should be an indirect free kick from the
agreed.
spot. Every
Absolutely.
single one. I don't understand how. Like, if I was you, I'd be so petty for the rest of the season after that.
Absolutely.
I'm
Like this is
glad.
what
I'm
I'm saying.
glad it didn't happen to me. I would have been screaming down the mic
It's
today.
ridiculous. It's absolutely it's pathetic though, because this is the thing is if you want to play this technicality bullshit of like I keep saying this, the technicality stuff, like we can just play rules, this is that, but then okay, let's play that rule game for the rest of the season. Let's give Man City, as you said, Chavez, 6 second rule, okay, yellow card, indirect like do you know what I mean? Free kick from
If they did
inside the
that,
box.
if they did that, the yellow card every 6 seconds, no keeper would ever waste time
You
again.
see what I mean?
Yeah.
You
They
need to
don't
use
do
your
it.
brain a bit and say, look, common sense. If he's absolutely pelted the ball away, we can all hold our hands up and gone, yeah, look, he's stopped the restart of the play. He's pelted that. He's flicked it, I'd say 4 yards to the right. It's
I,
not
I, I'm
the
I'm
end of
I'm
the
going to
world.
jump in because I
Use your
disagreed.
head.
I disagreed with everyone in the group chat as it was happening. I think, as you said, it's the consistency and not based on like scrap the technicalities, it's the consistency of refereeing. As you said, every time a goalkeeper takes even 15, I was watching again the Watford game. The goalkeeper took 45 seconds before the referee blew his whistle and went, "Actually, no, you're taking the mickey." That's ridiculous. That's a yellow card, rightfully so. And as you said, is the Pedro one? Was it a yellow? Was it not? He kicked the ball away. So technically, yes. Same as the Rice one. It's stupidity. Rice was on a yellow card anyway, and he's aware of that fact. And no matter what, the amount of times we've all seen it, we've watched football enough times, whether it's club or international level, something like that happens. There's a little fight between a few players. Referee walks over, goes, right, you started it, yellow card. You've done that, yellow card. Walks off. That's the end of it. Rice being on a yellow card means 2 yellow cards is a red.
Yeah, but the thing is as well, like the thing I don't understand. The thing I don't understand. A red card is literally the referee saying you're too.
No, but it wasn't a straight red card.
What I'm saying is, it's like him basically saying, "I've had enough of you this game." All he could have done, if he had a bit of mojo about him, is he could have pulled both of them aside and said, "Listen, I don't want any of this anymore, because Rice, you know you're on a yellow, so stop this. Otherwise, next time it will be a red." Do you see what I mean? That would have gone.
Dan, I don't think Rice has learned anything from that situation.
Yeah,
like, if that situation was presented to him 100 more times, Dan, we've all played football. I would do the exact same thing again next week.
But again, so at the start of the season, all the players were told, I think it was last season, time wasting isn't the thing. Rightfully so. You should not be rewarded for time wasting. It does ruin the game. The amount of times that we've sat there, again, watching our own teams and the ball's been in play for 50 minutes because teams are time wasting, especially obviously smaller clubs against U3 big clubs. It happens all the time. But as Amir said, Amir touched on, if he was sitting there going, "Oh, brilliant, Arsenal are going to win 4-0 now because Brighton are going to get a player sent off." So had the referee have walked over and gone, "Don't do that again, lads," Arsenal fans would have been crying anyway because he wouldn't have booked or sent off or whatever outcome the Brighton player. It just meant that they both got 2 yellow cards. It so happened that Bryce is already on a yellow card. 2 yellow cards equals a red. That's what I'm saying.
What about this though? What about when it comes to the point where we continue playing like robots then to follow the rule book to a T? Is there no kind of like leeway to the point? I get obviously if you buy your arm off, then fair enough, blah, blah, blah. But there's got to come to a point where if you follow the rules to the T of like, because these idiots who make up the rules anyway, actual donkeys who don't know football. So if you follow it to the rule book and you continue doing what like this is, then it just ruins football because then you're just like, we got no freedom because anything is going to be a problem.
Time wasting should be a yellow card. Again, it's finding a balance. It's when they first put VAR in and there was the handball rule and the penalties and stopping runs and things like that. There was like 2 penalties a game. And then eventually, whether they calm down on the VAR, whether players learn, actually, I won't be as obvious about it, they learn. They've been told already. It's just Rice being a moron, essentially.
It's not.
But he was aware.
No, he's not.
But
he's not.
Dan, it doesn't...
Dan, it's the worst thing. Dan, if you're in a football match,
he didn't kick it away. He didn't lash it away.
Yeah, he didn't absolutely. That's what I said. He didn't pelt it away. Otherwise, we would have gone fair enough. He pelted it away. Yellow.
Like, with aggression, he didn't do that.
It's gone 4 yards to the right.
He's kicked the ball. And if you, I will get up the rules again, like I sent them in the group chat. Rice has kicked
does the
ball
rule
away.
say
the black and
does
white
the ball
of
have
it,
to be standstill? Yes.
The ball has been kicked by Rice.
Was the ball moving?
And again, it doesn't matter how far.
Was the ball moving, Daniel?
As long as contact is made, it should be a yellow.
Okay,
yeah, is that what you mean?
If he's intentionally kicked the ball,
ricochet, it's a yellow.
It's not a ricochet. He's kicked his foot out to kick the ball away.
I'm saying, okay, let's say for example,
he's kicked the ball. There's not a ricochet. He's the Brighton players kicked the ball at him, which is fair enough.
Well, if he touches it and touches the ball on the floor and it stops, what is that yellow card?
It's that
going forward. What I was going to say, Dan, going forward, if I was Arteta, and do you know what? Arteta is this level of perfectionist that he could even consider this. First of all, I didn't instruct David Raya to make sure he does not hold on to the ball for more than 6 seconds. I tell Odegaard to be ready, be on hand ready. The moment he sees anything like that happen, go straight to the ref. The moment the goalkeeper holds it for more than 6 seconds, count it, shout it in the ref's face as it's happening. Tell your entire coaching staff to run on to the technical area. Arteta loves leaving it. At least they can get every single time that happens for the rest of the season.
Absolutely.
And you'll get mugged off by other fans, whatever. I'll be right there for you. Because if that happened to me, I'd love Ten Hag to do that. He wouldn't do it, but I'd be so petty to the point where I'd want a fine. Give me a fine. Give my coaching staff a fine.
Yeah,
send us off. Give us yellows. But make the game robotic. Because Dan, Rice will not learn anything. If that happened to me, I would next week do the exact same thing. I wouldn't lash it like he tapped it.
I'd volley it at Chris Cavanagh's fucking head. That's what I'd do.
it's just going to happen again. We just need to make sure that this time the law is served, and for every single moment that a rule is broken, justice is served.
This is the
Agreed.
thing. That's what I said exactly the same thing at the start, and we should all agree. If every person that did that got a yellow card for it, no one would care. No one would bat an eyelid. But they don't. It's the consistency. And that's
You see the problem now, Daniel.
I don't dispute that there's like a major issue with referees. I'm not disputing that because we've all agreed on that as football fans for the last 14 years, 50 years, as long as we've been consciously watching football. It's just like the action was a red card because it happened to be a second yellow, but it's also I agree with you. Like the consistency is the issue here. It's not Rice doing or not.
No, I
doing
mean, if it happens next
the
week or in 2 weeks' time, then you can't really complain. If it carries on happening for the rest of the season, everyone gets sent off or yellow card for every time they do that. Can't complain.
Like who was it?
It won't
happen, Emir. It won't happen.
I know it won't happen, but if it does, then we can't.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll hold my hands up and go, you followed the rule book to a T.
I'd love it.
I'd love it, yeah, but they won't.
There's 2 points I want to make. Firstly, like I hope this is not the moment, the make or break for Arsenal if they don't win the league, because I want them to bottle it and all that stuff and not lose the league on purpose.
Referee decisions not
exactly. I don't want them to fucking milk it for how long. Secondly, I just want to ask you, rate your window out of 10, and how do you feel about the incomings you've got and the outgoings?
Yeah, absolutely. A bit shaky. I'd say 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I think the outgoings is kind of minus that amount fully. I think, we've got rid of Nelson, Smith Rowe.
Would you say that you wish you kept or you thought you didn't agree with letting go?
No, I agree with Smith Rowe getting let go because he deserves playing time. He's a fantastic player. Nelson on loan is a weird one. I don't think we should have. Obviously, we've got Sterling in his place, but I still think we should have kept him anyway. Nketiah, I'm happy he's gone as well. Ramsdale, I guess, obviously he wants first team football. But yeah, you're right. I think we should have kind of like looked into like those replacements though, because now you've got the likes of Jesus is out now for some reason again, and now Havertz is his loan number 9, and we haven't got a replacement for him if he goes wrong.
Not a Tony maybe, or a Osimhen, for example. You think Havertz is good enough with Jesus to lead the line?
I think Havertz is he's a good player up front, but I'm saying if worse comes to worse, we're going to have loads of games to the point where obviously we're going to have to need another striker in position to obviously cover Havertz. Otherwise, he'll get exhausted and injured, and we don't have that because Jesus is injured at the moment. So then, who's our backup? It wasn't Nketiah, but we don't have that. I mean, even if you paid for like a 10 mil kind of striker just to kind of fill someone's boots, do a job.
Like a full crew.
Yeah, I'll take a full crew.
Why not?
Oh, for the next game, I was going to ask you, Declan Rice is out, so what's your midfield against Tottenham in the derby?
It could be one of two things. Number one being Timber and defensive midfields, Partey pushing up the pitch, and obviously Odegaard is Odegaard, and then Calafiori at left back. Or it could be Partey DM, Jorginho replacing Rice, and then Odegaard up in normal position. One of them.
Probably one of them.
One of them.
I don't want to jinx you or anything here, but it's not as big of a like if you were playing City next week and you were missing Rice. It would be a massive miss. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas actually, I've got no affiliation. I'll put Spurs down. Spurs aren't as good as City, and that's fairly obvious, and we'll all agree on that. It is a much easier game, and especially how they've started the season. You think they drew to Leicester,
they lost against Newcastle.
Newcastle, that was it. So they haven't made a great start either. But it almost comes at a time.
It's the North London derby though, so everyone.
It doesn't matter.
It almost comes at a time going like they've made a poor start. Like they're either going to carry that on, and you could tear them apart, or it's going to be
they could turn up.
Yeah, they turn up. So, but yeah. It's not like
the next 2 fixtures are very difficult in Spurs and Man City, so it's a bit of a test for Arsenal.
Yeah, at least it was only a 1 game for Rice. At least he didn't do anything stupid after that.
Still odd, but we moved. We can't do anything about that. Let's just hope that.
He didn't kick out and get a 2-game ban or something. And obviously, he then missed the City game as well, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, apparently, if you touch the referee, now you get a 10-game ban. Anything of the sort. But anyway, moving on.
Moving on to, I suppose, the earlier Sunday game, Chelsea Palace 1-0. Amir, take it away. Welcome back.
Thank you. First pod of the season. Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. First half, I thought we were very good. We showed very good glimpses. I thought Pedro Neto, Madueke were very lively, and obviously a nice counter attack for Jackson to get his first goal of the season. But as always with Chelsea, it's the defense and midfield kind of that lets us down. So yeah, Eze scored and 1-1, and I don't think we had a few chances. I think Jackson had one at the end. Madueke probably should have scored in the first half, but it could be looking like, even though there are glimpses, but it's going to be another tough season for us where it'll be outscoring the other team rather than trying to keep a clean sheet, because we've conceded in every game so far this season, and we're just going to be relying on our attack. I thought Will Hughes should have been sent off. I thought Palace were very fortunate for him not to be on the pitch, because I think if he was off the pitch, we would have won the game. And straight away after Glasner, he took him off for Decore, who was very good and had a hand in Eze's stunner. But yeah, no, 1-1's disappointing, but we'll take a point for now. I mean,
I don't know if this is just me. You've got quite a bad record against Palace in recent years, haven't you? Or is that just me?
oh, we have a fantastic record, actually.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
have some of that, Dan.
No, Palace was one of the teams we have a fantastic record against.
That was us, Dan. Arsenal.
Probably Brentford, Chelsea.
Yeah,
Brentford.
Yeah, it was
Brentford.
Arsenal. It was
Palace,
Palace for Arsenal.
I mean, yeah, so far under Maresca, I mean, yeah, it's been 3 games. I mean, we looked good against Wolves in the second half. City was City, really. We showed signs and stuff, but you're not going to beat
Can't
City.
read too much into it.
Exactly. And this game, yeah, I'm just hoping the back four gets sorted out, because that's a really big issue for us. And obviously, Reece James is out again.
Again?
So,
No, he's not.
Shouldn't laugh.
He's not here, is he? He hasn't played.
Yeah, but where is he? What's happened to him?
Another minor.
What do you think?
Hamstring issue.
Let that guy go, blood. Wasting wages.
Yeah, I mean, even though he's the captain of Chelsea Football Club, I mean,
That's in the medical room. Like,
exactly, yeah.
Sort it out.
And we also brought in Jadon Sancho, got unveiled.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm quite happy with it. I think he'll be good for us. He took a wage reduction, which is obvious that he obviously cares more, and we'll see. Obviously, Chavez has opinions on him and stuff. I mean, for 2 years he was getting a boner over him joining Man United, but yeah, if we do sign him, I think it's an obligation for about 25 million, so a huge loss for United. Again, I think in terms of transfers,
what do you mean if we sign him? You are going to sign him unless you come to a 14.
25 million. You've made a loss of about 60 odd million on him. It's terrible.
Amir, quick question. Obviously, you signed Sancho now. Do you reckon you're going to miss Sterling at all coming to Arsenal, or is it not a big loss for Chelsea?
No, Sterling had a few clutch games and moments for Chelsea, but the issue with Raheem Sterling is he makes a lot of very poor decisions, a lot of passes. For example, he's 1-on-1 and he goes for the shot instead of squaring it with 2 players running alongside him. He's a very frustrating player. So I don't know if at Arsenal it'll be different. He's working with Arteta again. I don't know if he's a bit of a mercenary at Chelsea, but it might work out. I mean, Havertz is looking like it's working out for you so far. So yeah, you never know. That front three.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So Jadon Sancho joined you, and he actually made a point of saying that he wants to contribute goals and assists. So, what is it that will make you excited for the obligation? How much does he need to get? Because either way, he's staying, and you have to buy him. You have to pay.
I think with the amount of wingers and attacking players we've got in all comps, I'd say goal contribution double digits.
Just do better. Just do better than Mudryk. Really.
It's another player.
Oh yeah.
Goals and assists. Why not?
All comps. They've got about
His first season. It's not too bad.
You know what? I'm not going to go
First
for
season.
5 goals for Hoyland just so it's a low bound.
Yeah, but Hoyland's a kid, and it was his first season in the Premier. This is Sancho's third season in the Premier.
But also for 25 million, you can't complain. Signing a player like that for 20 English tax as well, coming from Man United.
I think it's a fantastic.
25 million. Yeah. What can you buy for 25 million?
I thought he was very good in the final as well. He was very good in the Champions League final, I thought, as well.
And I know you pretty much spoke about it, but obviously Chelsea's transfer window. Your incomings, as you said, like Sancho, your outgoings are Sterling. Any other major ones, or just rate your transfer window?
The most disappointing one was probably we didn't get Osimhen over the line, because I think that was very possible with the way Conte's just kind of drawn him out of the club. And obviously he's going to go to Galatasaray for a year to at least play football. But I thought we either too little, too late. We got into discussions, but that's a big loss for us. I think Osimhen would have been very helpful for us. But end of the day, I don't think Jackson's too bad. I think Jackson, he's not obviously good enough to lead the line fully himself, but he will contribute. So
Do you not find it strange that you say that he's not good enough to lead the line, yet you're going to be stuck with him for 9 years?
Yeah, but he will be good enough to lead the line, though. He's very young, as you said. Haaland's very young as well. So I'm going to use that argument back on you. In 5 years' time, who knows? Jackson will be the player to lead the line for us. But he's still
do
young.
you agree with the strategy of giving all these players sort of 7-8 years of just?
I do, yeah, because
guaranteed?
we made a lot of profit on players as well. I mean, that Washington guy we sold him for 17 and a bit million, and he only played 5 minutes of football for us.
That's because it was a Chelsea-owned club, was it not?
It doesn't matter. It's still on the books as a
Yeah, true.
That's like us,
Hutchinson,
that's like us selling
Amari
Bio
Hutchinson.
for 15 million to Udinese. Like he's not worth 15
That's like,
quid.
do you know when you transfer money from your HSBC to
Yeah,
your,
to-
like
yeah,
Monzo? That's all that
I
is.
guess. Amari Hutchinson, another one we've made good money on. We signed him. I mean, the strategy is to get these players on long deals and then stuff. I don't mind it, but I just need to see results and performances. I mean, we have to win the Conference League. I don't expect anything less than winning it. Otherwise, it'll be a bit of an embarrassing season. And then we'll be the only club in history of the world to win every single trophy available.
I've got a quick question for you.
I'll wait for that.
1-1 against Palace. You're going into the next game after the international break against Bournemouth away. You confident?
Yeah, I'm confident. It's Chelsea, isn't it? Always confident. We beat them
Away though? Bournemouth away?
Yeah, that's all right. You can keep saying away. It's not going to change my.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you went to
Yeah.
Palace
It's
away and
away.
get a result.
It's away, man. It's away.
Spurs away. Oh, it's away. Spurs away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Spurs are better than Bournemouth.
I think we've got a better squad than them. We've got a better 11 than them. I don't expect anything less than a win. If that happens, I'll be happy. If it doesn't happen, I'll be raging. So
If Sancho scores in his debut, you got to get a shirt.
I got to get.
Chavez has to wear a
Yeah,
If
wear
it's-
Sancho blue.
Wait, actually,
I'm just
Chavez,
not doing
how does that work? If it's a loan to buy, how does it work?
He's not going to play against us.
Oh, is it?
But it doesn't matter because he's not playing anyway. So he's not playing against anyone. Amir, I was going to ask you, because you've got an interesting set of games in the Conference League. What are your thoughts about some of the, like, what are you expecting from games against Noah? Noah.
Noah's a very, very good team. I don't know what country they're playing, but Noah is an established club in a very prestigious competition.
The club's about 10 years older, man.
FC Noah.
That's okay. I expect us to play our strongest team against Noah, and hopefully we
Coming up 14-0 winners.
It sounds so strange, but they're from Armenia. We'll see what they're like.
It's okay. It's like hashtag United, isn't it? If they played in this competition, but no. What do you guys think so far of Chelsea? Obviously, I'm looking at more of the positives and stuff. What do you guys like from outsiders of different clubs looking in? Do you think
As you said, you're
Chelsea? Do you
It's
think
chaos.
Do you think it's absolute chaos? Or go on, right?
But
Mix of both.
on the pitch, as you said, like your defense has been great, having kept a clean sheet all season. Unfortunately for me, I do have Robert Sanchez in goal on my FPL, so as I've misplaced
That's the
my
worst thing you've ever decided, Daniel.
I've misplaced my faith somewhere along the line.
I'm not. I'm in his badge. I've got bloody Onana in goal.
Dan, you're the only person in the world who would have put Sanchez in. He's a terrible keeper anyway. He's just bad.
It was cheerful, but yeah, as the other said, it looks like chaos in terms of incomings, outgoings. Like, he's just like discarded the other 40 players you've got on your books. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't even be able to name your best 11 in there. Like,
To be fair, I just wanted
what
to touch
is
on it
that?
a bit though, because you've got about what, like 11 attackers, but then as you said, your defense is a bit shaky. How comes you started to sign the likes of Neto and Sancho and it's more and João Felix this transfer window instead of like a good backup for defense or something? I don't know.
I mean, we have got a lot of defenders as well. I mean,
Compared to your attackers though, what I'm saying is each
obviously our
position's
attacking,
stacked by like 3
we've got
players.
our attackers on bloody crack. But in terms of the defense, we still 50 million Badiashile, or was it 50? I don't know. Disasi another 50 million. Fofana 70, 80 million. Colwill. Obviously, we loaned out Trevor Chalobah, which I don't agree with. I thought he was very good coming at the end of last season, but I don't know. I think we need the back four to be stable with Sanchez, if it is Sanchez in goal, and then get a consistent run of games, and we'll see. But I don't know about Sanchez. He's very erratic.
Who else you got?
What do you mean?
Who's like the backup keeper?
Some like
Oh, they got a few.
we've got about 11 keepers on our books. We've got the new Courtois, who's only played about 20 minutes worth of football, so I don't know how he's a new Courtois, but Petrovic has gone. We've got he's like I think he's a Scandinavian. I don't know his name. It's like Soros, something like that. It's terrible. I don't know his name, the backup, but Yeah.
You've got too many. It's fine. We'll let you off. You've got too many players to remember. It's fine.
I've got like 42 players to remember.
Chavez, I mean, obviously, moving on to Man United now. Yeah, well,
Yep.
we'll ignore the Liverpool game. Start with your transfer window roundup. What do you think of Manchester United's transfer window? Happy, sad, angry?
Yeah, outgoings wise, we did as good as we could. I mean, I think the only discrepancy was Lindelof, but he's injured right now and he's already unwanted by most of the world. So if that was ever going to happen, it was going to be to Turkey, but he's injured, so it's fair enough. Like we couldn't sell him, no one wants his wages. But aside from that, we did well selling wise. Now, incomings, I thought it was alright as well. We did the best we could in the market. We got the Lick, we got Euro, who's not even sort of available yet. I don't see how there was much better on offer for us to get. I thought we kind of stuck to our principles. Didn't get Sterling, which would have completely contradicted what we're doing right now. So I think I really liked how we did that window, especially with net spend as well, considering we made quite a bit on outgoings. Yeah, and if you want to, do you want to go to the Liverpool game, or do you have more questions about our window?
Straight to the Liverpool game.
Yeah, let's do it.
Casemiro.
Actually, no. I've got one more question, Chavez. Ten Hag in or out?
Ooh.
I'm obviously not. Even Ten Hag out fans aren't Ten Hag out right now because they can't. Like, it would be very silly to sack a manager when you've just backed him this heavily in the window.
Before you go into the game, what did you think of Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher saying how Ineos were looking for other managers? Is that true? They were looking for other managers but couldn't find better than Ten Hag, which is why they kept him. All that stuff.
Well, no, I mean they had options. They could have gone in for McKenna. I mean, wasn't Pochettino available? They could have done what they needed to do. They interviewed, right, and it wasn't good enough.
But does that not mean like he wasn't really in their plans and they just kind of stuck with him? I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here.
No, I do think. I mean, we're one Coventry goal away from Ten Hag not being our manager. I don't disagree with that. Like, if that Coventry goal stood, he wouldn't be our manager right now. There's no doubt about it. But things happened and we won a trophy somehow. The thing is, I still wouldn't say anything against him yet because it's his final season. He's going to sack himself if it carries on like this. In your final season, you won't get that much. And when I say final season, it's his final season in his contract. So there's not much leeway left anymore. Going on to the game, there's a lot of people to blame for this. Casemiro got so much blame, and rightly so. But there were 3 goals in that game, all happened for the exact same reason, and the third one wasn't Casemiro's fault. He was on the pitch. It was Kobe Mainoo, who's the best ball retention player on our team, and he did the exact same thing. So then it begs the question, why have we got a system where when the ball is given away, we're in an instant 4v2? Someone said that beautifully on Twitter, and it was very true. A big fan of Ten Hag. Yeah, he said it, and I am a fan of Ten Hag, and I would call it out as well. That is a recurring pattern. If anyone knows his players better than anyone in the world, it's Ten Hag. So why is he entrusted this much? Why does he have this much trust in Mainoo and Casemiro to be that comfortable on the ball and not make a mistake? He's clearly got it wrong. And they're not that good on the ball, clearly, Casemiro especially. So he needs to change it. He didn't adjust in the game. The third goal was the exact same thing again. DM just being left isolated. Toby Collier came on for Casemiro and was doing the exact same thing, just up the pitch. It's an instruction. It's unfortunate, but it's an instruction. So that is completely and utterly the manager's fault. And for him then to come around in the press conference and answer every... There was a journalist, I don't know who it was, incredible. Ten Hag said, why don't you tell me the mistakes? He named about 7 different issues that happened directly in the game. It was beautiful analysis. And Ten Hag came back and just said, but I won 2 trophies. That's not a good enough argument. Fair enough, you won the trophies, but that doesn't correlate to what happened on the pitch.
It's like,
he made errors in that game.
I've seen that.
By the way, I'm very apprehensive to praise Arne Slot yet, because Arne Slot came on and very simply just debunked exactly what needed to be done. And it wasn't that much of a rocket science. He kept his 2 wingers up and just waited for United to make a mistake. And he does have Mo Salah, who's the best player on the pitch, the world-class of world-class players on the pitch. We've got others, Van Dijk, Trent, but Salah is genuinely a level above all of that.
Yeah.
And he's clinical. Like, even when Salah's played badly before at Old Trafford and scored hat-tricks. So today, in that yesterday, he was unbelievable and scored and was part of every goal so far this season. So Arne Slot's blessed in that sense. He kept it simple and won the game. So I'm a bit apprehensive about praising him. Yeah, Ten Hag has a lot to work on. His signing's coming back now. Ugarte has to play. I don't know what the whole thing was about.
Where does it go? Who is Ugarte?
DM.
Oh, is it?
DM, Uruguayan. He's a data signing. He's got one of the best data statistics about ball winning in the entire world. Maybe like one. I think Paulinho.
PSG, like a lot of teams, or even Man City, I think at one point were wanting him.
Paulinho is the only one better than him at ball winning in the league in terms of just the last year. But things he's missing in his game. He's not got the best passing range. Still, we will see. He's a signing that I don't know if Ten Hag wanted him because Ten Hag said he could be out for months to recover. I don't know who says that about a player who's not injured. So I don't know. I think Ten Hag just lost the plot yesterday. But I would say if he carries on like this, it doesn't matter if you're Ten Hag in or out. He will be sacked because Ruud van Nistelrooy is right there. So it doesn't matter what we say. It will happen if it continues like this. When a manager like Arne Slot's come in and he's been able to figure his own players out and play us off the park at Old Trafford in what, 1 month, then why are we in year 3 and Ten Hag can't adjust? It's very stubborn. I think he's very stubborn in the way that he wants things to be done. If Casemiro's not good enough for ball retention, you have to adjust your team based on him playing. You can't just tell him to do the job that your ultimate player like Frankie de Jong will do. You've got to adjust, and he's not doing it. He knows his players. Ten Hag's not an idiot. He'll go to the next club and win trophies instantly. I don't know why he's playing this stubborn game now. I don't know what it means. Because he comes across as stupid.
He just needs a Frankie de Jong and the Tadic, and then he's got his past and present Ajax squad, hasn't he?
Literally, he's almost got a squad now, so there's no excuses. We will see, though. It's Liverpool. It's their back four. I was very quick to jump on Xerxes in the player ratings. I slightly take it back. He was up against Van Dijk, fair enough, because he wasn't that good. And it was, to be fair, his second start in the league. Or, sorry, first start in the league. So we've got to be a bit easy on him. But, yeah, there's a few players in there. Rashford getting booed. I mean, this is going to become a constant theme because look at Salah. What is Man United's world-class franchise player right now? It's not Mason Mount, despite him being number 7. He's injured half the time. It's supposed to be Rashford. And Rashford isn't that. He doesn't play like that. He's nowhere near as good as that. His confidence is shot. So we're in trouble around a bit.
Who would you say is your franchise player?
No, it is, Amir. Unfortunately, it is Rashford, but that is it. That's what we've got to offer, and that's how good he is. He needs to step up, and he needs a psychiatrist. I'm going to say it every week. And Ahmad was the only sort of bright spark when he came off the bench. Aside from that, De Ligt had a good debut. Unlucky that he had to play Liverpool on his debut. He's a monster. And who else was good? No one else was good. That's all I have to say about it.
Basically, I was going to say, just touch on, obviously, as you said with Ten Hag's comments about, I've won trophies. It's like he's just combined like the two United managers of past and just got it. Mourinho, and he was going, I've won the Premier Leagues. Everyone else in the league hasn't won anything. And on the flip side, Ollie turned around and went, just because we win a trophy doesn't mean we're back.
Yeah, I agree with Ali on that. Yeah. I always agreed. I told El that when they won the FA Cup with Arteta. It doesn't mean shit. What actually matters now is that Arsenal are up there, fighting for the league every year. The trophies are nice to show off, but if you want to really know where you are, as I've said many a time, it's where your league position is.
I will
quick. Go on,
go for it. No, go for it.
I was going to say just very quickly. Chavez, Southampton away in a couple of weeks. Confident?
Yeah, no, we'll have some players back. Hoyden will be back
away. Yeah. Southampton away.
Away.
No. Amir, I don't expect. Beside all of this negativity, some of the positivity is that we're not conceding many shots like we did last season. Structurally, he has prepared us better from the front. Central defending between the 9 and 10. They've all discussed this on Sky Sports. But so we are better, but it's still not good enough.
I will quickly say before we do wrap it up, I do agree. I thought Arne Slot. I watched his interview on Sky afterwards. I thought he carried himself very well. Like for the first 3 games, he does look. Don't know if he's going to be the real deal, but he does present himself quite well.
He does look good. Agreed.